War Dog 691 said we need to pick up Carlos Dunlap. Our D line is looking suspect.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
yeah. So that there you go. We're gonna go to our yeah. We're gonna go to our. I have D tackle here for our poll question to you guys, which I think I know the answer to this one. But I think a lot of the people who said trade Chris Jones this week, I think after watching our D line get run through from the Browns' second and third string running backs in the first two quarters of that game, I think people are going to start walking that back a little bit. You know what? Maybe on second thought, we pay whatever he wants and get him back in the room, because that wasn't Nick Chubb back there. Although both those guys looked like Nick Chubb against us today, those weren't Nick Chubb. Those are other guys in the league, solid running backs, but not Nick Chubb. But they looked like him against our D line. I mean, that was scary to watch, man. Because we're going right out the gate. We're going against Gibbs and David Montgomery. Probably could be one of the best 1-2 punches in the league coming up here, man.
Come on, please.
In a division with Eckler 2 times a year, Javonte Williams, who will be back healthy this year 2 times a year, and Josh Jacobs, who's coming back 2 times a year. So this is nothing to joke around about.
So then we leave from having Detroit, the Lions. Then we got who? Etienne coming in?
Whew.
Trade Chris Jones. I put my lips up like, man, you better cut that out. Trade Chris Jones. For what? And you know what? That's really what I wanted to see. You know, look, I get it. I get people, they get emotionally invested in these things. I understand that. I really do. Okay. The thing is, the guy's just trying to do what he's able to do, for himself. That's fine. I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. I don't. I don't want to start alienating Chris Jones from the conversation, because he's been absolutely vital to our success. Let's just be honest here. And so when I'm sitting down looking at guys at the defensive tackle, now I will say this: the guys at defensive tackle, Sheldon has been doing a pretty decent job as a run stuffer. Those guys. Menahu, when they moved him down, he did a great job, pass rushing and whatnot. I seen him a lot of push right there. But we're going to miss him for the first 6 games. We ain't going to have him. So other than that, I didn't see anything else out there as far as guys coming off the football, making plays. I didn't see that. And it was glaring. We're going to have some big boys come in, big body, running the football down the throats. And they are not going to back up at all. I'm telling you, they're going to come off the football and they're going to run down our throats. And if they know 9-5 ain't in that middle, they're going to do it even more. Trust me on that one. So I just, this whole saga going in, man, with Chris and stuff, I think it's just getting overblown. Look, I leave it all alone. I'm just like, man, let them handle their business. Let them all work it out. But I don't want to be on the side where everybody's hating on Chris, we losing respect for him and all of that, because the guy's just trying to, he's just trying to capitalize on what his skill set is. That's it. That's all. So nothing personal. We ain't taking money out of our own pocket and stuff like that. So we still love Chris Jones, and let's keep saying that. Shoot, matter of fact, Chris might be like, okay, the more people that love me, and we can, hey, Chris, look, we all behind you. He might take like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go ahead and stop tripping. I'm gonna go ahead and take this deal because I see all the love that I'm getting even more. Right? Maybe that could happen. Patrick was like, look, I'm just going to go ahead. Hey, we're going to welcome him with open arms. All the guys, like I said, are behind him in that building. I guarantee it. So that's that. But we need that guy. Shoot, Chris is what I'm talking about. We need that guy. He's one of the top guys in the NFL. 29, about to be 30. You could keep playing that all you want to. Okay? I know he's top 4 on sacks in the past 5 years. Out of everybody, every position. This guy, man, he's the real deal. We got one of the best in that position. Chris Jones don't grow on trees, people. He doesn't. He don't grow on trees. You don't know what you're going to get on defensive tackle. You just don't know what you're going to get. You can do different things, and I love how Spags was trying to use, kind of different sets, different defenses, lining guys up to see, just because if we don't have Chris and those things, how you can work these things. Because it is something that he's like, look, we got to explore this. If we don't have Chris, these are some things we might have to necessarily do. Will it work all the time? You don't know. He's got to get creative. But I tell you what, having Chris in there makes everybody else's job around him easier. Now you can see the defensive ends getting more pressure. Now you can see the linebackers having a little bit more effectiveness. Now you can see the corners maybe not have to cover that much. You heard Trent himself. I heard Trent. I was just like, man, you know what, 10? That's exactly right. Trenton was like, you cannot, there's nothing you can do when somebody's coming up in the middle under pressure. There's nothing you can do. He knows as a quarterback. That's the hardest thing for you to do as a quarterback, is have somebody in your face pushing back against you, that type of pressure. Because now you got to overthrow somebody. Somebody's going to be in your legs. You know, on the outside, you can kind of keep it up. You can kind of step up in the pocket. You don't have it anymore when you have a guy like Chris Jones who's taking double teams on probably more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So let's be real here, man. Look, you know, I mean, Chris Jones is family. Okay, let's keep him family.
Yeah, I made a comment, you know, talking about, you know, how the Browns kind of ran through us pretty easily with their backup and their string running backs in the first half of the game. Yeah. And someone commented, it was like, it's preseason. And I was like, yeah, problem is, though, that rotation of D tackles you're seeing with Chris's absence will be the same rotation. Even going into the fourth quarter, those guys will be playing and rotating in at the spot at D tackle while Chris Jones is out. So in his absence, these guys, whether it's preseason or not, these guys will be playing that position that Chris Jones is leaving vacant. That's so right. It's an issue whether it's preseason, regular season, off season. It doesn't matter. It's a huge deal. So like you gotta be looking at that and being like, oh man, like we need him back now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, no doubt about it. You know,
and I want to ask you, JD, from a player's point of view. Obviously, you never held out this long. You were always at training camp, but it's your team. You don't want them to lose, but it's preseason, right? But it's kind of best case scenario, actually. The D line looked pretty rough. We won. But are you looking at this and seeing like, hey, like as Chris Jones, like, okay, this is good. Hopefully they see what it's going to be like without me.
Yeah, you can say that, but yeah, absolutely. It works in his favor. No doubt about it. Works in his favor, especially like we just talked about the two teams that's coming in that you have to deal with also. And you're not going to have Charles and Menahu, right? Also, too. So it's just going to make it a little bit rougher. You know, Spag's going to know it. True, Spag is going to pull out what little hair he's got left. You know, he's walking around the building. Spag, what's wrong with you? Like, has Chris called yet? Has anybody seen Chris? But no, man, I do think, you know, we gotta be realistic here. I think these guys could still salvage what we have as far as relationships with Chris Jones and the front office of the Chiefs. I really think, you know, they can. Okay. I just don't want it to be a part where when Chris comes back, there's booing and all these different things. There's some things can be worked out. It really can. There's some things can be worked out. So we just had to see. But I'll tell you who shocked me. And I love seeing that is a young guy, young defensive end. He got into a couple plays, man. He looked a lot better this week than he has the previous weeks. Put it that way.
King Felix?
Yeah. I didn't know he had like some dings and stuff, man. But he said he's getting better. He's getting healthier. And that if he showed some flashes today. He's going to show some flashes today. And we have him and you know, of course, Crazy George on the outside. Those guys, and you get it, get 9-5 here too.
Yeah.
And you're going to look at another three-peat. That's a championship team, man. Keep that thing together as much as you can. Keep it together.
Yeah. And I hope after what Veach saw today that maybe they'll communicate again and get something done for next week and for next Thursday, or it's coming right around the corner. So they need to get it done.
Right. Now I'm looking at some of the chat, right? He's basing Mahomes of defense. Absolutely. 100%. He is the Mahomes of the defense. No doubt about it. When he comes back, how long will it get for him to get game ready? Relative time. You know, Chris has been doing this thing for a long time. It won't take him long. He just got to get in game shape and get the hits and stuff like that. Probably get him like a good 2 weeks, to kind of get ready. If he starts these things now, he might be ready. I think he'll be back in game form if he signs this week coming in. Around game 2, you'll see where you need to see.
There you go. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, because he'll definitely play in week 1 if he signs like this week. Do you think he'll still play in game, like game ready, right? So that depends on how many snaps he's going to play. But if he signs anywhere before Thursday of that week, he'll still play in that game, you think?
First game of the season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He might get, now they might, kind of manage his snaps, but he'll definitely get some, sure. Especially if they pay you big money. Paying you big money, you better get in there.
Yeah.
If we paying you $28 million, you are good to go.
Yeah.
You are good to go.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.